In this video, we're going to take a look at our new door and window trim assembly, point count assembly that we've added to the Millworks assembly group in both the GC plugin as well as the Lumberyard plugin. We've had several people ask for this, so we finally got it developed, and it turned out pretty cool. So it's a point count assembly that basically you launch the assembly, you work your way across the tabs, make all of your trim selections and cut lengths for each piece and the material length that you're going to order it out of, and basically just go through and count each type of window and door, and it's going to generate your material list, and we're going to try it out real quick and take a look at it. So when you launch the assembly, in the assembly tab, we got the phase and subphase, which is basically the group and subgroup that it's going to organize the material and the reports for. You also have a waste percentage here that can be added to the material calculation. So we've got a phase selected, a trim load. I'm going to choose a subphase of, let's say, main level, so we can create a report that's actually going to group the trim material by level of the building if we want to do it that way. So the first tab is the jamb casing. So whether it's a window or a door, you can start making your selections here with the jamb casing. So we can select the size, the type, the jamb casing cut length. So let's say this is a door and it's a standard 6'8" high door, and we want to figure for our jamb casing material on either side, we want to figure about 7.5 feet, which should give us enough length to cut, our miters on the top corners or whatever we need to do. And then the casing material length is the actual length that we're going to order of material for the jamb casing. And then one or two sides. So on the jamb, it's automatically going to figure two sides, right, left and right. Here, if it's a door, then we can actually select both sides of the door by selecting two. If this were just an interior trim out on a window, then it would only be one side. And then we can also select a jamb casing cap. So let's say we have a 3 1/4 casing, and then we've got a 1x2 cap on the outside edge. It just allows us to pick up that material. So that takes care of our jambs, our jamb casing, and then our header casing works the same way as far as the size, the type, the cut length that we're actually going to need, the piece length we're going to need, and then the material length we're going to order it out of. We can also select one or two sides. And on the header casing, we have two different sizes of material that you can be added here. So let's say we've got a 2-piece header casing. We've got a 1x8 with a 1x4 on top of that. Then we've got the ability to pick that up here. And then thirdly, we've got the ability to select a crown. So let's say you've got a 2-piece header casing with a crown on top. You can pick all of that material up right here in the header casing tab. And again, with the crown, you can select the size, the type, the crown cut length. So however many feet you want to figure for each door or window or whatever it is, for this, for each one, and then the material length that you're going to order that out of as well. And one or two sides. So again, if this is a door and you've got crown on both sides, you've got the ability to select that. The next tab is the Jamb Wrap. So this is like the jamb liner. So let's say we've got a cased opening or something and a 2x4 wall, then we would need maybe a 1x6 for jamb. So we could select the size, again, type. We can choose how many vertical jamb sides we have. So if this is let's say it's just a cased opening, like a 3070 cased opening, then we would have 2 vertical sides. Again, we can select our vertical cut length, and it would only be one horizontal side, which would be the top of the cased opening, and we can select the cut length there. Or let's say this was a pass through in a wall that we had to trim out So in that case, we would have two horizontal sides because we would have a top and a bottom. And then again, we can pick the jamb material length that we're going to order it out of. And then lastly, we have the Sill tab. So here it works exactly the same way, but we can pick up our window sill material if we need it, as well as sill apron. And if it's, again, maybe like a cased opening with a path or a pass-through that has a sill, maybe it's got an apron on both sides of the wall, you can select and account for that here. So once we've gone through, we've made all of our selections here, we can click OK and just go through with a point count and count up however many windows or doors or whatever it may be that that you're doing your takeoff for. And once we're done with our point count, we'll go take a look at our report real quick. And this is what our report looks like. So it's grouping everything under our main phase of trim load and subphase of main level. And you can see here's all of the material for all of the trim that we need for the particular assembly that we set up. So it's got each size and type of material by length that we need to order, with a description of what everything is, and it gives our quantities here. Again, this assembly is now available in both the GC plugin as well as the Lumberyard plugin.